Good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 24 of our 21-day meditation course, part 2, Going Deeper. My name is Shivalika, and I'm happy to join you all from Northern New Jersey today. If you haven't already prepared your food soak, this is the time you can quickly get your dishpan with some lukewarm water and some salt in it. And then you can also have some rinse water and towel to dry in the end. Today, we are going to have ice treatment as well. So you can get some ice or ice pack with you for the treatment tonight. So today, we are going to have a full program that includes 2 guided meditations with foot soaks, an ice treatment. Then we're going to have video of Shri Mataji, and then we'll together enjoy some music. If you are new here or have missed any classes, we have the sessions recorded for you on our website. Link to the website will be posted in the Zoom chat as well. These classes are also live streamed on YouTube, so you can anytime go back and find the previous classes there. If you want to have one-on-one help, from our Sahaja Yoga teachers, you can always request for a mentor by filling out our mentor form in the chat, or you can also ask for the help in the breakout room towards the end of the session. On Tuesday, we focused on the heart chakra and the left channel, which is associated with our emotions. And since it was the Valentine's Day, so it was perfect for that day. Today, we are going to talk about right side, which is associated with our actions. So we'll learn how we can get our things done effortlessly. This is a reminder that Sahaja Yoga is always free. So now is the time that we welcome our lovely presenters for today's session, Mark and Poornima. Poornima, who's also going to be our musician tonight. So welcome both of you.
Thank you.
So we'd like you to introduce yourselves. So Poornima, you can go first.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I've been meditating for basically my whole life, and it's a great honor to be here with you today. I'm coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Poornima. Welcome. And Mark?
Hello. I am just down the street from Shivalika in northern New Jersey. We're kind of neighbors. And I've been meditating in Sahaja Yoga for much more than half my life. I've been able to travel the world and meet Sahaja Yogis from different countries and feel the same joy and the same enjoyment no matter where I travel. And I'm very delighted to be here with you tonight.
Thank you, Mark. We are so happy to have you both today with us. So Mark, you can take it further from here.
So tonight we are looking at how to attain a state of balance. On Tuesday, we talked about what happens when you tilt too far into what we call the left channel, the side of our emotions. Tonight, we'll focus more on what happens when we tilt too much into the right channel, the channel of our doing and planning. The main quality within us that we are developing in this meditation is how we use our attention. So no matter where we are, what we're doing, who we're with, we can ask ourselves, where is my attention? Am I dwelling on something in the past, or am I projecting something into the future that may or may not happen? And if we go too much into the future, into what might or might not happen, we can actually get kind of stuck in very futuristic attitudes. And it also has a tendency for us to focus on what we can do, what we know, and it develops a structure in our brain that we call the ego, where we're no longer aware of anything happening other than what we are controlling and doing. So the goal in the meditation is to find a path of moderation. That yes, we do have to do stuff, and yes, we do have to remember stuff, and we have things that we've learned from our past that are very useful, and we do have to plan and make sure we get to work on time, but we want to find that middle path. So the big question we ask is, how do we stay in balance? So tonight, let's have a look at the right side, the side of all our doing stuff and thinking about doing stuff. So I'll just give you a few of the things that I've learned over the years that sometimes help to cool down, as we say, the right side. Number one, if you're conscious that you're a little bit too aggressive, getting a bit frantic, see if you can slow down. Just make a few steps a little bit slower, take a little bit of a break, realize that the sun is going to rise tomorrow, whether or not we are running around crazy or we are in a balanced state. Another very radical way to soothe our right channel is to do as little as possible. So this is really hard in our modern connected lives, where we have a device in front of our noses almost 24/7. It's by our bed, it's in the car, it's everywhere. So if we can put away the device, just put it to one side, maybe turn it to airport mode so no one can disturb us, and then just find some quiet time. Sometimes if we're very, very busy, we actually have to set an alarm on our phone. But at least for 5 or 10 minutes, see if you can go outside, ease back into an easy chair, and just see what it feels like to do nothing. And of course, at some point, we probably have to spring up and take care of the kids, the deadline, the shopping, the cooking. There's going to be always something we have to do. Another technique we can try is we're really obsessed about something that might or might not happen tomorrow, and crucial deadline, an interview, an appointment, someone we have to meet, someplace we have to be, an airplane we have to catch. See if we can simply turn our attention to something else. Maybe close our eyes or put our attention on something in front of us that's not going to stimulate a whole bunch of thoughts about the future, and just see if we can focus on that for a few minutes. The biggest thing that we can do practicing Sahaja Yoga is meditate and allow the thoughts to stop. So we find a time, we have the photograph of Shri Mataji, we sit down, put our hands towards the photograph, and then just see, am I thinking? Am I in the present right now? So we'll be doing that this evening. Now, the other thing we can do in Sahaja Yoga to help cool down the right side is literally, physically cool it down. So we can get some kind of a frozen ice pack, or maybe something more flexible if you want to wrap it around the right side in that area between the hip and the rib cage. And this is the area of our liver. And it is an amazing feeling of relief when we're frantic, we're heated up, we're all tense, we're nervous, and then on goes the ice pack. And we just start breathing and allow the coolness to cool down the whole right side. So we can try it. So those of us that have brought the ice pack, you can just place it maybe like next to a t-shirt or a shirt, maybe not right on the skin. Place it in that area between the right hip and the right rib cage. And you can hold it there with a pillow, or you can tie some kind of thing around you to hold it in place, or I just rest my right elbow against it. And if you don't have an ice pack, you just take your left hand and just place it there on the right side of your abdomen between the hip and the rib cage. You can say to your ego something that it won't like to hear, but you can try it. See if you can tickle it a bit by saying, I do nothing. I do nothing. And we can also foot soak. So if you're feeling really heated up, really frantic, you can try slightly cooler water in your foot soak that day. Maybe not freezing cold if it's winter and cold outside, but maybe just try a few degrees cooler than your normal temperature. So normally we like the water maybe kind of tepid, pleasantly warm. But if we're feeling really, really heated up and we notice, oh my goodness, I've been barking at people, you just cool down the foot soak and help to cool down the right side. So now you've got your foot soak ready. Whatever temperature it is, we can put our feet into the foot soaking bucket. If you like, you can leave your ice pack on your liver or put it to one side. You always want to do it to your own intuition, what feels right in terms of what you need to do. So if you're feeling you need to clear the left channel, you use left side clearing. If you need to clear the right channel, do right side clearing. If you're not sure, do a little of both and check and see which one had the best impact on my silence, my enjoyment of my meditation. So now as we settle into a brief period of foot soaking, we can put our attention on the Kundalini, that energy in the sacrum bone, put our left hand there, sort of in this kind of a position, and the right hand is going to go up the inside, over the top, and down the right side. So as we bring the attention up the central channel, the hand goes up with it, and we tie a knot. And when we all do it together, it's quite powerful. Second time, tie 1 or 2 knots. See if you can locate that point of attention where the Kundalini is. Try not to do these motions mechanically. Try to really see, is my attention on this pure energy? Then raise up the energy. And the third time, we tie 3 knots. Now we'll do this bandhan from the left hip to the right hip, and we can put our attention on the first center. And with attention on that first center, we can do the first bandhan. Attention on the second center. Attention on the third center, the navel. Attention at the center of the chest, the fourth center. tension in the throat area, the fifth center. The tension in the center of your brain, the sixth center. And a tension at the top of the head, the seventh center. So always check your hands. If one is feeling heavier or warmer, that's the one you're going to clear. If it is the right side, that right hand is kind of heavier, definitely hotter, more things happening on the fingertips. There's also that technique of resting the right hand on the lap and bending the left hand up over the left shoulder, the palm facing over the left shoulder. Then you can always put the two hands at the same height or both resting on the lap. See how you feel in the two hands. Same temperature in the palm. One is heavier, one is lighter. Just see what you're feeling. This is indicating if you're too much left side or too much right side. And of course, sometimes like me, you might feel both hands equally heavy. It's been a really hard day, emotionally exhausting, physically and mentally exhausting. So then you sit, foot soak, breathe, and say, I do nothing. So always be very sensitive to your own feelings, to what feels right. Maybe you've got the ice pack on for a while and it just doesn't start to feel like the right thing to do anymore. Maybe it's had its effect, it's cooled down the liver. So then take away the ice pack. Okay, there's no like time limit. Oh, I didn't do it 10 minutes, it didn't work. You do whatever is going to help you in your own balancing. So now we can take our rinse water and rinse our feet. Sometimes we're in a big hurry to jump into bed, so we do our foot soak and then jump into bed. But if you can, to help work on your right side, after you finish your foot soak, after the rinse, just sit for another minute or two and just sit very quietly. So let's try that together. One more thing that I do is if my attention is way into those thoughts, fantasies, movie scenes, music, you name it, I take a hand and do a physical contact and just see if I can get my attention into the present. And I even ask myself the question, where is my hand? To try to break the non-stop projecting into the future. It's like, where am I right this moment? What am I doing? Am I just breathing and feeling my hand on top of my head? And then we can check, what are we feeling over our head? You can use your left hand or your right hand or switch. The attention feels steady, and rest the hands on the lap once again. So in the video excerpt we're going to play for you now, Shri Mataji is going to talk about that quest that we have as seekers of truth, to find the way to be in the center, to be in balance. So we just leave our hearts and our attention open and relaxed and enjoy Shri Mataji's talk.
And the greatest truth is that we all have become human beings to become the spirit. We are still not in that stage. That's why there are problems around us. Once you become the truth, it being the absolute, you reach the state of absoluteness. Then there is no difference of ideologies, no differences of nation. All nations, one knows, are created by God Almighty. Just He created variety to give a beautiful world to us. Variety always gives beauty. That's why this variety was created, just to make the world very interesting, but not for fighting or for quarreling or for believing that this part belongs to us and that part belongs to somebody else. The human problem, as I have studied, is very simple. Is to be understood in a detached way. Now here you can see the beautiful machinery that is working within ourselves. If you see on the left hand side, we have, somebody should come, blue colored line. And the right hand side you see a yellow line. In the center you see a white channel. These are our autonomous nervous systems, 3 channels, left and right sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. When I talk of medical science, people get quite surprised. But it has something to do to understand what are we inside ourselves. Now this parasympathetic nervous system is the system that gives us balance. For example, if I am running fast, my heart will start thumping. But it comes to normal through parasympathetic nervous system. And medical science doesn't know much about the parasympathetic nervous system, which is actually in the center. These chakras are around the parasympathetic nervous system, and like my fingers here, this is the chakra in the center here, and this is the left sympathetic and this is the right sympathetic, and they both put together make this center to form the parasympathetic. Simple as that. Now what happens with human beings? That they have a capacity, they have a freedom also to go to the left or to the right. They can be very emotional people. They can go to the emotional side to such an extent that they can become fanatics. They can go further with it, so that the left side, which represents our subconscious, then the collective subconscious can be entered into. So they can enter into collective subconscious also. Subconscious also has 3-4 layers. That is, we can say the present subconscious, the past subconscious, and subconscious of ages. Then the collective subconscious, where all that is dead exists in that area. Now when you move too much on that side, you get attacked by that side. And that side has got all that is dead, which attacks you, which triggers. On the right hand side, we have got another channel of the right sympathetic nervous system. This channel represents our activity and our future. So when you are overactive, you're working very hard, you are futuristic, all the time thinking about the future, you start moving towards the right side, to such an extent that you can enter into your collective supraconscious also. In the same way, you have got your present supraconscious and also collective supraconscious. Now human beings have a capacity that they can move to the left and to the right with their attention. They can project their attention to the left or to the right, or they can be moderate in the center. So when people talked of religion, the real people who came on this earth, they talked of religion. They talked about our valency, that's a human valency, is of 10 number. And that's why they talked of 10 commandments. Or in every religion they talked about it, that we have to keep this balance. When we go out of this balance, then we either move to the left or to the right. But if you see the history of religions, it is just the opposite. That all these religions have created conditionings within us. A kind of a fanaticism, a kind of a blind faith. which was never the purpose of establishing your valencies within yourself. The movement to the right is also another problem of the modern times. When we move to the right, we actually start becoming very egoistical. The activity that we form, the activity that we perform, creates a balloon like structure on our head, as you see, crossing over here as ego, that yellow stuff. On the left hand side, when we are conditioned very much, we get another balloon which we call as superego. Jung also missed the point because he described that there are layers horizontally placed within ourselves. It is not so. God is a great constructor and a manager. For example, you have put a road for me here. I don't have to pass through different rows. In the same way, he placed everything in a vertical way, and the road to realization is kept free within us.
Let's continue to meditate in silence and just absorb the words we've just heard. So hopefully this silence around us is also silence within us. And we'll spend the next few minutes giving some love to our right channel. I'll share a little bit of music and poetry with you. And as we explore this aspect of our self, see if you can take it easy. One thing I do when my brain starts chattering is to say inside myself, I forgive, or I surrender that, or just I let go. So see how much you can let go of as we go along. So you can leave your left hand open on your lap and point your right hand towards the earth. Putting your attention at the base of your spine and saying within yourself, I have the pure innocence of a child, and I trust that. Now gently bring your right hand back to your lap. And usually we point our left hand up towards the sky to clear our right channel. But try pointing your left hand to the earth for a moment to give some nourishment to the right side of your first chakra. And you can say within yourself, I trust that I will be victorious over all the obstacles to my growth. Actually, it's not us who fights the fight, who does the work. The energy that does all of that is the divine energy within us. So you can also say within, you the divine energy, remove all the obstacles to my growth. As bud cups blossom, as lamp holds light, as earth trusts mountain, as moon trusts moonlight, so this innocence protects my soul, gives this freshness that keeps me whole. Now we can bring our right hand up to, our left hand up to the right side of our belly. And keep the right hand open on the lap. So left hand on the belly, right hand on the lap. And here we can say within ourselves, I embrace the quality of the royal dignity within me. Or you can also say to the divine energy, you are the royal dignity within me. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is breaking in my soul. Now you can gently move your hand down just a bit. So your left hand has been on your belly. Now it's moving a little bit to the lower part of your belly, the second chakra, where our attention lives. And we can think of our attention as this inner beam of light, this flashlight. And when it's whole and when it's pure, we can shine that inner light, that attention, onto ourselves, onto the world, and just our attention itself can clarify and nourish. So with our hand here, we can say within ourselves, oh, divine energy, please give me a pure, whole attention. Not shattered, but whole, complete. Now you can gently raise that left hand to the right side of your heart area. This part of our being is where we express our protocol, our loving formality. It sounds funny to say loving formality, but if you think of the people you love and the little ways that you show your respect and your attendance to the details of what will please them, that's this quality. It's the rightness. It's doing right by people and by yourself. And one word for that is responsibility. So here we can say within ourselves, "Oh, divine energy, please give me the loving responsibility and the protocol of love." You can gently raise your hand to the right side of your throat and give it a little massage. In this place, we express our collectivity, our community with the rest of the human family. And that sense of connectedness makes us express ourselves very sweetly. When we let ourselves be aggressive, somehow it breaks our connection to other people. So when this place is nourished, our voices become so sweet, and we feel that we are part and parcel of the whole. So we can just say that now within. I know that I am part and parcel of the whole. I'm a drop in this ocean. bright morning stars are rising. Day is breaking in my soul. Oh, where are dear sisters? Oh, where are dear sisters? They are in the valley singing. Day is breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear brothers? Oh, where are our dear brothers? They are in the mountains calling. Day is breaking in my soul. You can rest your left hand gently on your lap. And for this next part, we'll use our right hand. And what we can do is raise the right hand up the center of our body, tracing the line of the center channel. And then on the way down, just pull across the forehead and down the right side. We can repeat this gesture a few times, encouraging the motherly energy to rise up the central channel and encouraging that pesky ego to just take a back seat. The ego tends to lodge and balloon up over here. So the left side of the forehead, because it crosses, the channel crosses. And as we do this, we can say inside ourselves, I am not the doer. This might raise the question, who is? And the answer is that divine energy that flows through us. When we think we're in control and we're doing something, we just get ourselves into tangles. But when we let ourselves be an instrument of that loving energy, it's so fun, it's so spontaneous. You can continue doing this for as many times as feels good, and then just rest your hands open. And now and then repeat within yourself, I am not the doer. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. One true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shall not be ashamed. To turn shall be our delight, till by turning, turning we come down round. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, Mata Sharanam Gacchami. Let's keep our attention at the crown of our head. If you like, you can try what Mark described of placing the hand firmly against the head and just seeing, are we present? Are we here? And then letting the hand float above the crown of the head for a moment before letting it rest. And if you like, you can try something right now, which is while in meditation, go ahead and stand up. I'm going to stay seated so you can still see me if you need to. But as you're standing, if you're standing, become aware of a situation where maybe you tend to exert too much effort. A situation where your heart rate goes up, where maybe your right side gets overactive. And imagine that you are removed from that situation. You're here in your meditation space, but there's a line on the floor in front of you. And when you step over that line, you'll step into that stressful situation. And before you take that step, feel yourself in this meditative state and see if there's something you can say within yourself to remove the feeling that you are the doer. So if you're a teacher, for example, you can say to this divine energy, you are the teacher. You are the teacher of all teachers. You do everything and I do nothing. If you're a business analyst, you can say, you are the business analyst of all business analysts. Just fill in the thing, you know? And then when you're ready, take a gentle step across that line. And just feel yourself relaxed in that space. If you find some part of your body holding a little tension, just give it that little reminder. I let go of this. I surrender this. And then when you're ready, gently step back over that line. And just notice if something released when you did. That's useful information if there was still something that you were kind of holding on to. And if you like, you can go ahead and sit back down. And once more, just gently raise that motherly energy up your center. Letting yourself take and release a deep breath if you need to. And letting yourself express gratitude to that energy for nourishing you, for taking it over, so that we don't have to do anything. We can just enjoy the ride. And to finish up our meditation, let's once again, all together, start with the left hand at the base of the spine, and the right hand wrapping round, tying that knot at the crown of the head. And the second time, tying 2 knots, and see how little effort you can tie those knots with. And the third time, tying 3. And then protecting this state of silence and relaxation, the left hand open, the right arcs over and back. Letting your attention go to each of the 7 chakras within you as you do this. ending with the one at the crown of your head. I'll pass it over to Shivalika now.
Thank you, Mark and Poornima, for leading us today to this beautiful meditative state. Now we have some announcements for you all. We have 21 days, session 2 going deeper, going on. It started on February 12th and it will continue till March 30 on every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have collective foot soak and meditations called End Your Day in the Silence of the Spirit. These are the shorter sessions. It starts at 8:45 p.m. New York time. You can join it through the same Zoom link. On Sunday, we are going to talk about Muladhara Chakra, that is our first energy center. And when we do so, we'll feel connected to the power of childlike innocence within us. Now let's talk about the program resources. You can always request a mentor by filling out the form posted in the Zoom chat. If you haven't already joined our community in a WhatsApp group, you can do so by finding the Zoom link on the chat, and you can join the WhatsApp group. And by joining the WhatsApp group, you will receive daily spiritual messages, course reminders, and updates. On our website, you will also find live sessions, recorded sessions, handouts, and many more things. So you can always go to the website and you have everything in front of you. You can also share about this with your friends, family, and anyone you feel who would enjoy connecting and joining us all. Now is the time that we give you a choice. Either you can stay here with us in the main room and listen to our presenters share their experiences, or you can request to go to the breakout room to have an interactive workshop with an experienced Sahaja Yoga teacher. You can ask your questions, you can learn about any techniques or treatments, you can talk about chakras or channels. For that, you have to type in the chat to breakout room help, and you will meet a Sahaja Yoga teacher soon. And also, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat to Zoom chat questions. Now we would like to welcome our presenters back. Welcome back, Poornima and Mark.
Thank you.
So today we learned how to get the things done effortlessly. So my first question is from you, Mark, that how has Sahaja Yoga helped you to get things done without efforts?
It is an ongoing challenge for me because I am basically right-sided. So I'm always the doer, and I have to remind myself, I am not the doer, but I forget all the time. One of my favorite stories about things just happening with me apparently in charge, but doing nothing is sometimes we have international seminars in Sahaja Yoga. So one year we were in a small little village in Italy, and we were hosting people from all over the world, and they needed transportation to and from the airports. So at the end of the seminar, they said, Mark, you're going to be in charge of transportation. So I had a space where I could be, where people could come to me with their requests. So somebody came to me one day over this 2 or 3 day period of getting people back home, and they said, I need a ride to the airport at this time on this day. So I had a little pad of paper and I wrote down the information. Then they came back to me the next day and they said, the person I'm sleeping next to is going to be able to take me to the airport at that time. Thank you. So I hadn't done anything at all, but I simply watched how things were being worked out by doing nothing. And of course, I did apparently do some things. I did drive people in minivans to airports, but there was no sense of doing any work.
Thank you for sharing that experience, Mark. Poornima, do you want to answer this question?
Sure. Actually, the one that's coming to mind is one that you will know well, Shivalika. So there's a Sahaj theater company called Theater of Eternal Values, and Shivalika and I have worked together with some other artists on a show. And you know, theater has a bit of a it can have a very right-sided energy of like, we have to put the show on, and you know, the show must go on in this kind of like you know, no holds barred approach. But we were having a rehearsal at someone's house, a lovely lady named Archana, who was making very nice food for us, and the rehearsals were quite short and the meals were quite long. And you know, usually I would be concerned that we have to like get back on schedule with the rehearsals, but the conversations we would have during the meals became so like this beautiful source material for what we were trying to create together. And we ended up, you know, chatting about recipes and the culture of the characters that we were exploring, and then all of this material ended up going right into the play. So by releasing my own right side and my plan, then spontaneously the material that we needed just blossomed through our natural conversations. Isn't that right?
Yes, that was amazing. That experience was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. But
Thank
it
you.
does take discipline to, like, you know, calm down the impulse to try and make things go on schedule or go according to plan. It takes some courage to be spontaneous and then see what happens instead, you know.
Right. Okay, thank you, Poornima, for answering that question. My next question again from you, Mark. As you mentioned earlier that, you know, sometimes we have things going on with us. We have lots of work that came up, or we have interviews, exams, or deadlines for assignments and all of that. So my question is that how can you tell if you are being too right-sided, and how and what do you do or maybe not do about it?
The humorous but not humorous thing that happens when I get into the right side and my ego is doing it is that it doesn't work. That's when all the obstacles arrive, that I get impatient, I change lanes on the road, and that is the slowest lane, and there's no escape. And so things are not working well. You're rushing around, you bang a toe, you drop something, you can't find the important paper. The franticness seems to generate a force field of things not working out. So if I remember, I know to sit down, see if I can go into meditation, just see if I can breathe, and just say inside myself, I cannot solve this. I cannot figure this out. And then completely open myself to the collective unconscious. So we have the collective subconscious, the collective supraconscious, we have the collective unconscious, this state when we are completely thoughtless and silent. And we often can feel a sensation here that, yeah, it's not just me, it's like me with this collective attention. So if I can stop thinking then into my attention will come a simple solution. And the thing I couldn't find, that I couldn't do, it's resolved. And I'll resist sometimes. My right side is no, 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 it can't be that simple. I have to keep wrestling with this problem. But if I finally just allow that information that's coming when I'm not thinking about it, and I just go with that information, it's like, there it is. It's done. It's solved. I can get on to the next thing.
Thank you for sharing that, Mark. Poornima.
Yeah. What's coming to mind for me is there's an interesting interaction between the left channel and the right channel. We've talked about how the left side is the emotion and the right side is the action. And sometimes I will notice myself rushing around or snapping at people in my household. And, my right side will be active, but it will be because I'm avoiding something that's come up on my left side. So maybe this happens to some of you that, if you're avoiding feeling your feelings or noticing what's going on with you on the emotional side, you'll stress clean the house or like angrily wash the dishes or, whatever is the thing that is the active escape from that, right? So I often find if I am barking at people, or if I'm getting into that frantic state that Mark is describing, where like you lose your keys and everything's going wrong, I will check and see, what am I avoiding in this present moment? And sometimes it's an emotion.
Thank you, Poornima, for explaining that. My last question from both of you is, as a Sahaja Yogi, how do you use the right side in a dynamic way without being right-sided? So, Poornima, would you like to go first? If you can share your own experience, that would be great.
Sure, yeah. It's interesting, when the right side and left side are in balance, we really have access to the strength of each. So when our emotions are there, we're emotionally intelligent, we're empathetic without being, lost in our emotions. And it's the same thing I feel for me when my right side is healthy. I have this experience of kind of sparkling dynamism where it feels playful, it feels fun. If you see a little kid running around, they're not like running around out of stress. They're running around out of the expression of that energy of playfulness. So I find that when my right side is healthy, it feels like a game. Everything's like a play. Even this, I've got to finish a paper for grad school, or I've got to get to work on time, or I've got to present at this meeting. It's all a game. That's one side of it. And the other piece I wanted to mention, because it's a very recent discovery for me, is I mentioned this thing of getting snappy at people and barking. And that's when my right side is like a little bit overcooked, you could say. But there is a place for anger. And I would say that the healthiness of it is when either it's like, I'm correcting myself, now fix that, now get it together, and with that love and that correction and that reset button towards myself, or towards, when I'm setting a boundary towards something maybe negative in the environment, of like, nope, I'm not going to compromise with that. That's the right side sort of acting against injustice, that kind of righteous corrective thing. And you need something a little bit active, a little bit fierce, so that energy has its place. And I'm a person who's been very conflict averse in the past. And as I learned to have that fieriness when it's needed, it feels energizing rather than exhausting. I think that's the measurement. When the right side is overcooked, I feel exhausted afterwards. When it's operating out of dynamism, I feel energized.
Thank you for explaining that so beautifully, Poornima. Mark.
What I'm learning is that doing stuff and planning stuff, it's a way of expressing the left side, the pure left side of love and affection and caring, those qualities of the heart. And then you use the right side to put it out there, to express it. So I miss my good friend. So I get in my car and I drive in the traffic on the freeway, pay the tolls, drive half an hour, and then wait for the friend where we're going to meet at the coffee shop and just be with the person, enjoy their vibrations, enjoy being in a meditative state with them. But I had to put in some effort. I had to arrange a time so that I wouldn't arrive and, oh, I was just being spontaneous. Why didn't you come? I didn't know you were going to be there. So we use our intelligence, our intellect, our planning powers to express the really important things, which I'm realizing it's when you're giving and when you're celebrating relationships. So you use the technology, get on the phone, get on the WhatsApp, send virtual hugs and flowers and all kinds of things to people. And it appears to be right-sided, but what you're putting into it is your pure attention. It's from the spirit. And you go out in the car and you have a secret trip. You don't tell anybody what you're up to, but you're out buying gifts for everybody. And you come back and you sneak them back into the house. And then when it's just the right moment, out come the gifts. As they say in The Hobbit, the conspiracy of the friends to sneak up on their friends and surprise them with their love. So to me, that is the pure expression of the right side, is we can't just sit at home and go, well, maybe one day some gift will arrive at the door and it'll be the expression of my love for somebody. Sometimes you do have to put in what appears to be effort. But when the purpose is to express the purity in relationships and our deep connection to people, our deep appreciation of knowing them, then I find that there's just exhilaration. There's no exhaustion at all. And probably the traffic will clear because the energy seems to move ahead of you and say, well, you're doing this for such a good purpose. There are going to be no obstacles.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mark. That was really helpful. So I would like to thank both of you for answering these questions and also for the beautiful meditation tonight. So I hope all of you enjoyed today as much as we did. And we learned how to do things effortlessly. And I hope that we all do it in our daily life. So have a good night, everyone. And thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you on Sunday.
Okay.